though, to have the Isle of Wight to work in. It's such a wonderful place, with the sea and the sky, the scenery, that history with the smuggling and the shipwrecks, the shoreline. It's all there, isn't it, for us?
The castles, the manor houses.
Yes.
It's a fabulous place to work and live.
We are very lucky to have the Isle of Wight as a place to work in.
Yeah. And so haunted.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah, that's why we call it Ghost Island, the most haunted island in the world.
The most haunted island in the world. Of course, when we first started the Ghost Walk here at Newport, we met at the stable bar, just across the way there. Of course, that was a wonderful place and a wonderful start because we had the story of the haunting in there of the stable boy that was found hanging from the beam. And it's wonderful now, at the end of the walk, to be able to show that photograph of the boy hanging actually from the beam. It's a fascinating photograph.
It is, yeah. The one that's, that actually shows him.
Yeah, it's in one of your books, isn't it?
Yes.
And the other thing that I find fascinating is this business with these 5p pieces. Unbelievable. I talked to Sarah and she's got a bag of 5p pieces which she's collected over the last few years she's been landlady here.
Well, I did ask her to keep them actually because she was just like in the hotel.
Really?
Yeah, keep them in a bag. And,
absolutely.
See how many actually.
Even I found some in the stable bar over there and handed them to her.
Well, she started keeping a diary of the hauntings as well, which was interesting because I thought it would be nice to know if anything happens on a particular date or time of year. And as we now know, October, November is probably the most active time here because they saw the lad standing out there on November the 1st.
Yes.
And Stuart saw the Cavalier.
Yes.
Again at this sort of time of year. So I think the activity here does tend to peak in the autumn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, the stable boy, he's often heard about 2 or 3 in the morning. The whistling.
With his tuneless whistle.
Which
yes.
then you discovered, the reason for that
indeed was when
the straw.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
when
they were grooming the horse, they would lift the hair out of the coat of the horse, and of course to stop them breathing it into their nostrils and mouth, they would whistle while they were grooming the horses.
And other things actually happen here in the early hours, don't they?
They do, yeah.
The latch on the door, the knocking on the door.
The bell behind the bar ringing.
The bell that rings in the early hours.
There's all sorts, and many paranormal companies come here, don't they, to do overnight.
And of course the gents' toilets.
Ah.
Maybe the most haunted pub, but where do you reckon the most haunted site on the island is?
Well, to me, it's the Botanic Gardens. I know you disagree with me there.
No, Night and Gorges just pips that. I reckon it's Night and Gorges.
Why do you reckon it's Night and Gorges then?
It's such a powerful place.
The story is very
powerful. The story is powerful, but the site, there's nothing there, but it's such a powerful place. And I think that the hauntings there go back an awfully lot longer than the Botanic Gardens. I mean, even when the mansion house of Night and Gorges was there, all those centuries ago, the place was haunted even then. It's got this fabulous rich history. It goes back to Hugh de Morville, who was one of the knights who murdered Thomas a Becket in the cathedral.
I have to concede that the history goes back a long way with Night and Gorges, far more than the Botanic Gardens.
It's a history of murder.
Well, you're researching this, aren't you?
Malice, yes. I'm doing a lot of research on Night and Gorges at the moment.
But the Botanic Gardens, after all, the Royal National Hospital was there.
Yes.
It's probably my scariest walk.
Yes.
I always say that. And it stood there for 100 years, and thousands of people died down there, didn't they?
Yeah, I can see that the site itself is much larger, so the hauntings are spread over a larger place, and of course it's somewhere that other public has access to. Which
yes, of course.
Night and Gorges is privately owned, and you can't actually go there.
It is difficult.
But the gateposts are a magnet for ghost hunters.
Yes. Whenever I take anybody on my day tour to the gateposts, there are always, it's usually the ladies, feel the atmosphere, they feel queasy or they're headachy, and often I say to their partners, you wait, they'll come back from those gateposts feeling
I have
So-
felt that myself. I'm not
Yeah.
particularly sensitive, but
Yeah.
yes, I have felt
It seems to
a sort
affect
of
the
nausea
ladies
there. Yes.
rather than the men.
It's thought that it could be Maurice George Bissett himself
No, I'm sure
who's
you're right.
there. One
Yeah.
of the mediums I've been there with has said there's a gentleman here who doesn't like the ladies. He holds them in very low regard,
Yeah.
and he delights in psychically attacking them.
Yes. Very strange.
It does seem amazing that from this one little ghost walk all those years ago, you actually now run several a week. How many are you doing now?
Oh, I think it's 5 or 6, as well as the Botanic Gardens. There is the Newport one, obviously. Arraton. I mean, there are some wonderful stories at Arraton.
Yeah.
The walk revolves around the manor and the Church of St George, and you know it's a wonderful setting there.
Yeah.
Again, the history goes back a long way with the manor. And of course, after that, there's St Catherine's Lighthouse Ghost Walk. That's a good one.
Oh, one of my favourites because there's no traffic.
No.
It's lovely and atmospheric there.
It's so atmospheric because during the summer we walk down towards that lighthouse on a beautiful summer's evening with the bats flying over our heads.
And the badgers.
Badgers and the foxes. Absolutely.
Yeah, people stop listening to you and they're all watching,
Watching the
badgers.
wildlife, that's right. And then in the winter when it's wild and you can hear the sea crashing against the rocks and that lighthouse beam swinging through the darkness, it's a wonderful atmosphere.
Everyone looking for the ghost up in the lighthouse.
They are, yeah, and of course I can show them the photograph.
Yeah, about that figure of the lighthouse keeper who was killed.
It's extraordinary,
It
isn't it?
is. It's unusual to photograph a ghost, but
But it's so clear, it's not a shadow or a blob, it's not a, oh yes, I see what you mean. It's a pure picture of a man standing in the lighthouse.
That's in book 6, and you can actually see the photo in that book.
Yeah, well I show it at the end of the walk, of course. And of course it's nice to finish at the old Buddle Smuggling Inn then.
Again, winter's evening, warm, little
Yes.
cosy pub. You could just imagine the smugglers there.
That's right, and the revenue men are all
Yes.
talking about, the business.
Yeah, but the most haunted place is still nice and gorgeous.
Oh no.
No. I'm actually working on a new book about the history of the whole site and the house, and it's a fabulous, fabulous story.
I shall look forward to reading that.
Madness, murder, the